Hi, I'm Dave Robinson, and welcome to another screencast where I'll be using R and RStudio to analyze data I've never seen before. As usual, the data comes from the Tidy Tuesday project, an amazing weekly data project in R from the R for Data Science online learning community. Every week, Tidy Tuesday releases another data set, and it's been really fun over the last couple of years analyzing one of these data sets. Most recently, I've been doing so live with your help. So if you're watching this live, please do go and join into the comments, give suggestions, give thoughts, and ideas. They're really helpful as we analyze this data. So today is going to be all about volcano eruptions. All right, so I don't look at the plots before, I'm going to skip that plot because I don't like to look at the plots first. I like to come with my own ideas for plots as we go. And let's see, I'm going to be getting it for the Tidy Tuesday R package. I heard that I should do this from, what is it, Tidy Tuesday R, here. Should install it from GitHub. Looks like I already have the latest version. Tidy Tuesday R, and let's see if I can load it. I'm going to do this in an RMD, and then we'll take a look through some of the data that we have. Tidy verse. I also like to do theme set. Should really just have a default file that I create. All right, downloading 5 files. Looks like that probably worked. And there's 5 data sets. I can also take a look at the data itself, and I see documentation. All right, so let's look then at what we have. Wow, we have 5 data sets: volcanoes, eruptions, events, tree rings, and sulfur. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the tree rings, but volcanoes looks like it's one observation for each actual volcano, for its location, when it last erupted, the countries. We could do a map out of this. We could look at there's a major rock. I don't know anything about geology. I don't know if there's any geologists on the screencast. Give me a shout out. And also population within 5 kilometers, within 10, within 100. And then there's eruptions. We actually see like when the eruption happened. It has a volcano ID. Yeah, it has a volcano ID that we match up volcano number between those two. These two by themselves will get us a lot. We could imagine creating maybe an animated map. Wouldn't that be cool, doing a map where we're seeing like the explosions happen over time and the size of the points is the size of the explosion? I think that could be pretty cool. So we already have some ideas from these two. Just to note for the future, I don't know the difference between events and eruptions. They both seem to have like a year. I really don't know what the difference between those two is. But tree rings looks like it probably, I really just want to take a quick look at this. Tree rings, look, it has in this year, z-scores, variable, so it's like positive or negative. I think it's like how much, is this how much carbon there was in that, like how much like soot there was in the atmosphere? I think it might be something like that. So then, so the idea is you can, I see, you can go backwards in time, it looks like, and see like how much, maybe how much carbon there was in the air. Volcano eruptions can show temperature anomalies and tree rings. Okay. That's interesting. We might take a look at that. And there's also like sulfur detected from ice cores. That's how we can look back. It looks like that's how we can look backward in time and get a sense of the volcanoes. That all seems cool. We may or may not get to that, but I'm definitely going to start by taking a look at our volcano data. I'm going to just grab the table and pipe this into view. Before I do anything, I'm going to save. Volcano eruptions. 958 volcanoes, several volcano types. We try and learn the last year they erupted. Some of them in the year negative 4,000 years ago, it estimates. That's something. We have country, the region of the world, the subregion. We have latitude and longitude, which is what we need For a map, elevation, is that in feet? Is that in meters? What is elevation in? It doesn't tell us. And tectonic settings, I don't know what that's about. The category of evidence, so I'm going to make a graph in a minute of eruptions over time and see how the evidence used changed. I'm just kind of exploring this first. Again, I'm definitely working my way towards that map, but I want to know. And then we have rock types, all categorical, and major and minor. And then things about population. Of course, if there were a volcano erupting, we want low population in the area. All right, so let's take a quick look at a few things about this volcano. One is I'm going to take a look at what are the evidence types, evidence categories. A lot have an eruption observed, and then there's the ones that we are uncertain of. And the reason that's interesting to me is I'm actually going to do a ggplot where we do a histogram of the last time they erupted, which is, let me see, which is here, last eruption year. That didn't work. I think, it's because it's got unknown. Okay, so I'll need to say mutate last eruption year is, a lot of these will be coerced into, last eruption year, a lot of these will be coerced into missing values. So most of the time, most of the eruptions are in this section, and we can also say fill equals evidence type, evidence category. And now we'll see, okay, there's a lot of them observed relatively recently, and then ones that we have dated them to be like in the more distant past. Something we can actually do with this is turn this into years ago. And I wonder, what is the last eruption range descending last eruption year? What are the last volcanoes that erupted? Did any erupt in 2020? Oh, this is a character vector, so that's probably not going to work, is it? I'll need to say mutate last eruption year is, I'd like to do this step again. Yes, some did 2020. So what I'll do is I'll say years ago is this, and then I'll graph how many years ago plus 1 on y plus 1, because it could be 0 years ago, and then so basically years from 2021, and see. All right, so this actually just gets a sense of like what are where are the eruptions observed, and mostly in almost all the eruptions in the last century, it looks like it's based on observed data. It's actually longer than I expected. You even have observed eruptions in going back to really like 3,000 years ago. I guess you have things like Pompeii. Yeah, I guess there could be records. That's really interesting. I'm really curious about that. If I said filter evidence category is eruption observed, I'm going to do this mutate on election year, on eruption, last eruption year. I'm going to do that in the in a cleaning step, because I'm not I think I'm just going to want this so often. And then say range by last eruption year. Select, and now I'll learn something about this. Select the last eruption year and also the volcano name, the country. That's where we do it. All right, so is Pompeii in there? Pompeii? I don't see Pompeii. When was Pompeii? I don't know the first idea when Pompeii was. Maybe the volcano wasn't called Pompeii. Was it Vesuvius? Oh yeah, okay. Vesuvius was the name of, yes. Vesuvius was the name of the volcano. 87. Oh, but that might not be the last eruption of Vesuvius. Now I'm interested in Vesuvius. What's filter? That's actually I was gonna say it's the only volcano I can say by name, but apparently I didn't know the name of it. Vesuvius. When you don't know the exact form sign, you can use string detect. Vesuvius. Oh, last erupted in 1944. All right, that's cool. All right, so this is some stuff about volcanoes, but that's actually when they were last erupted. It now occurs to me I might have wanted to look at the eruptions data and said, choose data, eruptions. I wonder, on this one is the year, start year. I'm going to use the year. And I wonder if does this have an evidence category? Eruption category. Eruption category. I'm going to try one thing. I'm going to try doing eruptions. Eruption category. So this is actually interesting. The eruptions are a different kind of data where it's mostly confirmed, even going way back when. Sometimes, so this doesn't separate between observed and, so the eruptions data doesn't separate between observed and dated. It just says it's confirmed, it's discredited, it's uncertain. I might only, maybe today we'll only look at confirmed, or we'll look only at discredited. Some good things to know. Okay, I'm going to switch it back to the evidence category. I thought that was a kind of a cool graph. You know, it gave us some information. And yeah, all right, so let's take a look at let's take a look, actually, I want to look at a few other categorical columns here. If I look at volcano and I say count, what are the most common regions? Remember, regions are combinations of countries. Lots in that are recorded here in South America, some in Japan, some in Indonesia, and so on. Any in this? Yeah, Canada, Western USA. Anything in the Eastern USA? Any volcanoes near me? I don't see any. Atlantic Ocean. Well, it's probably in the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, okay, that's kind of refreshing, isn't it? Well, let's make a map. I wonder, is there a size thing here? Is there a sign here that says, oh, also, what is primary volcano? Volcano type. So one thing I really like is, and some of them are like multiple, I guess. And shield volcano, volcanic field volcano. I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference among these. This is pretty. These are all pretty interesting. So let's make a map. Who wants to make a map? Chime in if you want to make a map. I'm going to make a map anyway, but it would be fun to see if people want to make a map. What I'm going to do is do volcano, and longitude is on the x-axis. Latitude is on the y-axis. Oh, let me get that one right. Actually, it looks like I did get that right. Right. And if I do, I actually like in GG themes. Yes, I love seeing everyone saying how excited they are for those maps. What I can do is theme map and also coord map. This coord map, I think, comes from ggplot2. That helps set up my longitude, latitude. You can quickly tell just from like a little knowledge of world geography. You see it follows along particular like ridges. Like this is the ridge of the western of Canada and the western United States. So we know that we have a general map here, but of course it's not a very good map. So what we're going to do is actually add a geom for the map. And give me a moment while I remember. There is a way to do it, and I think it's something like borders and by default world. That would be easy, except I've got some funky lines, and I kind of vaguely remember that those lines might have been caused by coord map. Yeah, I'm not going to coord map anymore. I think I've seen that happen before. So this is our map. I'm actually going to put the borders under the points. These are our volcanoes of the world. I was going to remove Antarctica. Every time I've made a map in this in these screencasts, I've removed Antarctica, but which can be done by filtering the borders at the region level. But I am not going to remove Antarctica because there are volcanoes in Antarctica. It's actually funny. All my other analyses have been based on things like GDP or plastic waste or things that you have to have people residing there to have. But here, yeah, some volcanoes in Antarctica. Today I learned only one volcano in Australia, or at least relatively few. Okay, so that's some things we learned about about volcanoes. What if I, now I don't have much information here. I'm not using much information here. So what if I'd love to have something like size or color representing something. I could use color to represent the elevation. I don't think that's that interesting. I could use it to represent the category of volcano. Maybe I will. And so I see it. Let me see. I'm going to try doing this. I'm going to try saying mutate, what was it called? Category, volcano type. What did I call it? It was called, or what it was called. Primary volcano type is FCT lump primary volcano type into, say, 8 categories so that there's a limited number. And then say, on the point, color is primary volcano type. Is this a good map? It's an okay map. I think I would probably remove the plurals. Yeah, I'm going to remove the plurals. I'm going to say take your, because I figure they're probably very similar to each other in some sense. And then say, I'll say string remove from primary volcano type, remove that. The like anything with parentheses and such. That ends up that ends up like, and I probably just want 6 categories. And I'll give it a title. I'll give color is, I don't really need, I'll say type, and say title is Volcanoes of the World. So borders is a really fast way to throw some points, some latitude, longitude points, and then get a and then get borders. And yeah, looking pretty sharp. Bunch of underground volcanoes. Now, can I tell anything about type here? I think I might want to make the size a little bit smaller. I don't know what the default size on a point is. I could say size is 0.5 and guess that might make it smaller. It's a little smaller. Why do I want it smaller? I want to get a sense of like, do volcanoes cluster together? So like we have in blue we have the stratovolcanoes. Looks like there's like clusters of those in the ocean. I wonder, I seen anything else? Purple volcanoes. It looks like, all right, so everything in the Middle East, all the ones I can see are purple, which looks like it's volcanic field. It could have something to do with oil. And that's really interesting. Green, we have like pyroclastic cone. We kind of see that clustering. I don't know a lot of spatial statistics. We could have done some things in terms of like how do these volcanoes cluster. That's pretty cool. And that's helpful. Now, what if I wanted more details about each of these? Well, there's a package for that. I saw a great suggestion from Bouquet. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, I'm so sorry, to try Leaflet. And that's an awesome idea. It's been a while since I used Leaflet. Do I have the Leaflet package? No. I'm going to try installing it. And this is going to be a small risk. Let's find out. We're going to try Leaflet today, and then I think we're going to try animations using ggAnimate to see those eruptions over time. So here we got our map of volcanoes. Library Leaflet. What Leaflet is going to do is make this graph interactive, particularly an interactive map. And now I'm going to remind myself how Leaflet works. Leaflet, what are the aesthetics? Aha, data frame. I wonder if it's a data frame, what do I need in there? Aha, I can use add circles. That's looking pretty good. Okay, so here's what I'm going to try. Leaflet, volcano. Add circles this. What is it called? No, longitude, latitude. Volcano should have longitude, latitude. Anybody got ideas on this one? I thought I would just say add these, and it would adds a circle for each volcano. Oh, I also did probably need like add tiles for. Oh, look at me! Did someone catch that? I was spelling it. I just had a typo. Is that a typo? Here we go. Here's your default tiles. I don't love that it's a little like. Oh, I can zoom in. Here we go. And this is like just a default leaflet. Now I've added all my tile. That's pretty. That's already a good start. Already a great start. Now, what else can I add with a circle? I'd like to add things like the title of the. Here we go. Add. Those circle. What if I did add circle markers? Now I can probably click on those, and I wonder. I'll start with add circles. The question is, I want to add some information to each of these, and it's like, let's take a look. Let's start with add this. Do I want markers? Add markers, layer, pop-up. Trying to figure out how to do a, how to add a pop-up that has, I have done this before, it just has been a little bit of time. Oh, that's not great. Add circles, flip. I'm going to try add pop-up. Oh, but it would need something in the pop-up. What kind of thing does pop-up take? Character vector of the HTML. Okay, great. So what I can then, what I can do, I think, is say, here we go. Add pop-up. Pop-up is I could start just with the titles. The names of the volcanoes, which in this case is called volcano name. That might be too many volcanoes. Did I crash R? It is plausible. All these pop-ups. That looks terrible. It looks kind of funny, I gotta say. So if I said add circle markers, do one quick thing. I want to get out of my message. If I did add circle markers, let's see. Ah, there it is. Okay. So in this case, what I got is like the HTML for every which is just in this case the title for each of the volcanoes. So now I could have put a lot of HTML in here. I could zoom in. I can say, oh, I'm really interested in this cluster in the ocean. What are those? But I could have done a little bit more interesting. I think I've done some, let's see, some HTML like. And I'm really bad with like with HTML stuff, but like, so I can zoom in a little bit more. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, so Leaflet is just really good for creating an interactive visualization. I am going to add something to it. I'm going to say, what am I going to do? I'm actually going to take our volcano. I'm going to select just volcano name, latitude, longitude, and the primary volcano type. And I'm going to say, I'm going to turn this into HTML. So I'm actually going to say mutate HTML is, let's see, I'm starting to remind myself how I could just create it as a string. And I might do that. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll just start with doing that rather than deal with HTML widgets for a moment. What I'm going to do is use the glue package. Glue allows me to say, to create a string where I'd say, okay, I want, what do I want in each of these? I'm going to do something really, remember, I'm not good at HTML. And I'm actually just going to say, template looks like this, where we say, volcano name. So notice anything I put in these brackets is going to be is going to end up in the actual text from this template. So if I actually say here and then add this, I now get these two and these two HTML paragraphs. And if I try that, now I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to filter for only one region before I do leaflet. Filter region equals, why? Because it was a little slow. And I want to say filter for, let's say, just South America. Yeah, let's do just South America, most common region. And the pop-up is going to be the HTML. I don't need, I'll say Volcano, HTML in case I want to inspect it individually. And here we go. Oh, I removed the select, I don't need that anymore. Here we go. Oh, great, now we have South America. And now I can say, oh, Easter Island, it's a Shields volcano, Smako, Strata, and so on and so on. And now I can actually like add a little bit more in here. I could make it, for instance, I could make it a table. I'm going to remind myself how HTML widgets works. Because at some level, I kind of want to just like table. If I did a table on this, nope. Can I give it a data frame? That's what I was kind of wondering. Can I give it HTML widgets? Can I, oh, is it? What was it? I'm trying to remember. It was, how do I get HTML? Was it in Shiny? Here, it's not in HTML widgets. Ooh, I saw a good idea from Kaylin Medeiros, which is, what if I turn this into a data table? Yes. All right. Yes, I think here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, all right, I'm going to try this. All right, I'm just reminding myself how to do an HTML unit. As I said, I'm not as accustomed to this. What columns do I want to include in my, what columns am I going to want to include in this data set? I'm going to want to include the volcano name. I'm actually going to use gather from tidyr to say the key. So actually, if I'm going to say key and value on volcano name, and I want to take volcano name, the primary volcano type, and the last eruption year. What that did is I created some columns for the key and the value within every one of these locations. So I said, oh, the key and the value, the key and the value, the key and the value. Why is that useful? Because I'm going to want to turn each of these into a table. I'm going to actually, can I do this anymore? Does tidyr not support this? I want to nest just key and value. Much better. What did that do? That turned the data into all of these. And look at those. That's what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is like, wow, lots and lots of volcanoes. The story is, this is what I want to pop up in every data table. So what I'm going to then do is say, and if I do dt data table from this. Somebody asked why not use pivot longer. Gather just fewer steps for one. It's just fewer steps for one expression. I'm still a little accustomed to gather, but that is actually a very fair question. Data table creates a little like searchable things like this. If I do shiny HTML table, what does that look like? It looks like nothing. Oh, it's shiny. Can create some things, but is the data table the only way to do this? Well, because one thing I want to check is how can I turn off all those like options, that header. If someone helps me do that, I'd appreciate it. Because what I want to do is like be able to express some things about it But as I said, it's been a while. Filter equals none. I guess it's the default. Tell me, how do I get this as like as little as possible? Dim names, null. That's a good one. No wait. Oh wait, no wait. How do I get rid of the column names and that's for a different thing? How do I get rid of the row names? False. Call names. I'd love to get rid of row names and call names. I'm just going to start with the simplest possible approach. What I'm going to say is I'm also going to do the filter region equals South America, and I say HTML is map on data, the data table function. Oops, I forgot a pipe. It's a good question about pivot longer. I'm sort of just accustomed to using gather. And what this will end up is, if I took the first item of HTML, I use pull to get this and then pluck to get the first item, it'll look like this. Now that is way too much information. How can I say data, our data table no formatting? I just want it like as simple as possible. Well, one thing is I want row name. I'm applying this to every single one. I want row names equals false. Can I do call names equals false? Nope, but I can probably do call names are empty. I like it like this, where it's except that I'm going to do a few more things to it. I'm going to say key is string replace key, replace all the underscores with spaces, and then string to title case on it. And then it'll look just a little bit better. And I think all these little adaptations are good. Somebody asked, could I use knitter's cable? It's a good question. Knitter cable, can I say format equals HTML? Ooh, yes, 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 I think this will work. Thank you, Daniel Erb, who made that suggestion. And the knitter cable, that's what the first one will look like. Can I do a cable? So cable comes with knitter. Can I do it without call names equals false? I can do call names. Call.names equals. I think a data table is too high powered for what we're trying to do here, which is just like a table. Indeed, I really wish I could remove that header row. Is there a header thing here? There isn't. Oops, I don't want that. I want to know, here we go. Here's the HTML, and now I apply this. Where's my HTML? Pull HTML. Those look, oh, nope, format, I forgot format equals HTML. Here we go. Now, aha! Look at that. Actually, it looks good even without the thing. Look at that. Look at all this. Isn't that great? Maybe I want these to be bolded. And now, now this is like a really simple table. I could do more formatting. I couldn't do more formatting. You could do more formatting. Somebody who knows their way around HTML and Shiny and Leaflet could do more formatting. I don't know my way around this. But what I do know how to do is say, I've already taken the keys and done this, but now I take the key and I'm going to paste. I'm gonna bold the key. So I'm gonna say, didn't work. Oh, it didn't work because knitter cable did escaping. And what if I did not escape? Can I do that? Escape is false. Yeah, exactly right. When I apply cable to everything, escape. Aha, look at these. I'm also going to want to replace NA I can do it for every value. I can say value for all the use tidy just place NA to say unknown because I don't know the difference between NA and unknown here. And look at that. Look at all these. That's pretty cool. And now I can jump in and get all these. I wonder if I can also, I can probably take the color and do something with it, can't I? I can do like, oh, I'm actually going to try removing the region, see how all this looks. Looks pretty good. I can then say, well, I'm really interested in, let's say, the ones in the Middle East, and find out some things about each of them. And now the thing that I like about this is that notice I had this gather step. I could have added a few things. I could have said country. I could have said what else did we care about. See, like, because I took this approach where I was trying to make sure I included everything, I could do tectonic settings. I don't think I need region and I don't think that I need region and subregion because I've got country and that seems pretty good. All right, and I am going to do population within 5 km. I'm not going to do the other ones. So let's say population within 5 km. And I'm going to do major rock 1. No tectonic settings. Major rock 1. I don't like major rock. I could rename it, but that's really not so bad. Again, it's not like that pretty or anything, but I'm actually going to zoom. Can I zoom? Yeah. Here we go, here we go. And I'm also going to make, I have lots of things we can do. Really lots and lots and lots of things. What if I were like, let's see, interesting. Somebody gave a suggestion of add measure, which allows us to calculate distances. I have not seen this before, but I'm going to suggest from Ramana, which is to add measure to calculate distance between 2 points on the map. Well, let's give that a shot. Oh, there it is. I can create a new measurement. Oh, so for example, I guess I could zoom in on Africa on ones in Nigeria. Are these in Nigeria or Cameroon? I think no, neither. I'm not sure which country these are in. I have a hard time reading this. But then I could say, oh, create a new measurement. Say, what's the distance between these two? Yeah, that's a good tip. Thanks. Yes, we can find distances between these. And then I bet, oh, look, I could even like say things like, what's the area of this region? That doesn't help right here, but I could probably do it in lots of places. That's really cool. Add measures. Thanks, Ramana. I also saw a suggestion from Bouquet, I think saying I can do set view. So I can say set view, and I could pick a particular latitude, longitude. I could say I want a particular region. So I could say around like one city. That's like I could do like let's see. The trouble is I don't have a lot of, so I was hoping I could say something like, oh, zoom in on Africa, zoom in on South America, but I don't have an idea on this right now, but yeah. All right, so a great suggestion, I think, from Lakshya, which is, can the color of points be based on the population within 5 km? I think so, but if I did, I'm going to have to change this a little bit because right now the population is nested within this table. So I'm actually going to say population is this just to recreate this column. And now maybe I can say something like this. Let's find out if I can say color is tilde population. Let's see if that does anything at all. Not yet. I bet that I have to set some kind of, so it looks like right now these are all black. How do I set an aesthetic? I want to have like a continuous color scale on these. You know, I haven't done that before that I know of. Like I bet that the color takes a, what if I Googled, I'm doing more Googling than I usually do because I said I'm not really accustomed to this. What if I said leaflet color scale? Oh ho. Color numeric. Thank you, Lewis, as well, who also got suggested this. Lewis Maiden suggested that I do color numeric, which I can then, we are, for this exact thing, I can say, I think I have a sense of how it works, but if I say like, let's see, safe is blue, dangerous is red, and the domain is, I'm probably going to want to do this based on the log. So the, let's see, I'm just starting to get it to like try this out. Color numeric this, and domain is, it's going to be the, where's my volcano? The volcano population within 5 km, and this is a function. So then if I give it like 100, I get back this color. If I give it 10,000, I get back this color, and so on. I wonder if I do this on log, is this going to transform appropriately? Because one thing is, I probably want to do log. Actually, let's take a quick look at the distribution of population within 5 km. Yep, it's going to be like log normally distributed. There we have it. See, you can see this like sometimes 10, median 1,000, sometimes really large population within 5 kilometers. So what I'm going to want to do then is, I wonder if I tell it the domain, I'm fingers crossed that if I tell it the domain is log 2 of this, nope, +1. Values are outside the color scale, we'll treat it as an A. Don't love that. Oh, right, yes, because I did log 2 of this. Okay, all right, I think this is working. Great. What I'm going to do is say mutate, I don't actually, pop color is this. Log 2, or I'll say, I'll do this in 2-step. Transformed pop is this. And then I'll say pop color is the color numeric from blue to red. The domain is the transform pop. And the and we apply that transformed pop. That should turn this into color codes. So if I counted now my pop color just to show what's going on, these are like the most common is going to be green. Green? RGB? We'll find out, but that seems odd. But the story is that now I can say, oh, the color is not population, but rather pop color. Aha! It's like high density, low density. We can also set. So we can also set the radius. It's an idea from Deepak, and I think we can do. I wonder what the unit of the radius is. I wonder. It's going to be huge or it's going to be tiny? It's actually going to be perfectly reasonably sized. So in fact, I'm going to do radius. I'm going to do radius 1. Look at this. Look at this. I think this is I'm pretty confident this is my first leaflet map. That's a cool. Let me zoom in on to show what this is. I can zoom around and find out things like, okay, here's the where are the most dangerous volcanoes? A lot of them in Europe, in Eastern Africa. The ones naturally out in the ocean are not dangerous, as in relatively low population density. And the while there's really a ridge of volcanoes here, a lot of them are very are these in Indonesia? Yes. And they have a lot of them have really high population density. Indonesia has a very large population, 4th most populous in the world, I think. And but the ones in Antarctica naturally have 0 population within 5 kilometers. So here we go. We can see like, I'm just trying to get something that I can, honestly what I'm trying to get one I can later screenshot and put in a tweet. So I'm trying to get something that's very evocative of that. So I can say like, And here we go. Okay, yeah. So I can say, okay, this is like there's the yeah, there's my add circle markers. Here's my everything, and now I'm like, oh, here we go, and now we can now see like, oh, that's the leaflet, like these red ones are high population density, the rest are low. So red to blue to red. Okay, notice that we could have put almost anything in each of these. We could have put the rock types, anything you were interested in that leaflet, you could have gotten in there. If you knew your way around HTML in R, which I do not, you could have also done, yeah, if you knew your way around that, you could have also done like, you could have made this look really pretty. You could have made this interactive. It's really quite cool. And yes, and finally, Lewis Maiden has a question: what about the polar bears near the volcanoes here in Antarctica? The polar bears are just out of luck. All right. All right, so this is really that's really cool. So this was taking a look at the at leaflet. A lot more we could do. We could have used radius could have been like on a scale here, so we could have done like size points, things like that. I'm not gonna do that yet. I think there's lots more things we can do on lots more things we could do in terms of like visual, in terms of like getting things from this. But I'm gonna end with an animation. So that was looking at volcanoes, turning them into a map. And now what I'm going to do is library GG animate. So we did an interactive map, which, like I said, I think a new one on my screencast. And now I'm going to say, what about our eruption data? I wonder, what years does this cover? And are they mostly in certain years? Well, they're mostly in, and if I did 2020 minus this, scale X. Okay, a lot in the last century, and then relatively rare. One of the reasons I'm doing this is I don't want to like just spend a lot of to create animation where it's going to spend a lot of time waiting on the where it's going to spend tons of time like waiting. So I'm going to do maybe only ones in the 20th century eruptions. I'm going to say start year is greater than or equal to 1900. And remind myself, if I count the eruption category, confirmed, uncertain, discredited. Maybe I'll just to feel better, I'll say eruption category is not in discredited eruption. I don't know about the uncertain ones, but they're not very common, so maybe I can probably just mostly ignore them. Count eruption category. Oh, and what's the next thing? I want to look at. I want to know, is there anything about the size? What's VEI? Well, I can look at Tuesday. I can look back at our documentation here. Volcano explosivity index. Okay, so I can actually look at a picture here. Oh golly, oh gosh, these get 7 ones are very large. So we can actually make this. I wonder if is the size like it's the, oh wow, it's like cubed. The volume is cubed. The volume of erupted stuff is cubed. So I should probably square the index to represent the size. No, I could cube it. No, let me see. If I square it, then it'll be. If I square the radius, the problem is then the area will be. I'd like to make the area like proportional to the amount of volume when I create this animation. I'm going to do that. So what am I going to try? I'm going to try this. I'm going to say, here's my, and I think I know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to create that graph that I did earlier. I'm going to say, I'm going to do this exact thing, except I'm going to use size, instead of using color, I'm going to say size is the volcano explosivity index. Oops. And one of the issues with this is that like 7 should be way bigger than 0. So I'm actually going to say, oh, here's the thing to think about. If I want the size of the point to be proportional to the cubic, let's see, it looks like they're each orders of magnitude. Yeah, that's I think how I'm actually going to do it. I'm not going to cube it. Yep, it's each of these is, each step is 1 order of magnitude. That means I'm actually going to 10 to the power of this divided by, and then VEI times 0.00001. 0.00001. Why the size? Because I want the size to be km cubed. I think this gets across the idea that, oh man, some of these are so much bigger than the others. I think it does kind of help with that. It helps even more if I say scale, if I make the size continuous. I can set the range to be like, how small is the smallest point? The largest point will be the size 6, that's those big points we see there, but how small can they get? Now they can get tiny. Okay, and if I also do, I'm actually going to mutate to add this to say volume is the cubed volcanic explosivity index, and now I'm going to say, it's not the cube, sorry, is this, and now I'm going to say volume, size equals volume, color equals volume. I'm going to make both of these match this, and scale color gradient. I have not animated it yet. What I'm going to say is scale color gradient is what was it? It was scale color gradient. Oh no, gradient 2. Now that I think of it, it's going to be low is blue, high is red. And midpoint is and I'll need, for this I will say trans is log. Is it log 10? Oop, I'm doing on the wrong one. Here it is. Midpoint is not 0.3 volume, but I was doing 0.3. Doing this just a little bit wrong. Oh, I had to figure out what the right midpoint is. Oh, log 10 I need. That's pretty good. Hold on. I forget the midpoint is on the log 10 scale, and I need to make it smaller. I want some things to be really red, don't you? I do. How to me the midpoint's not changing. I'm missing something. But in any case, this mostly shows like these are eruptions in the 20th century eruptions. I didn't yet say filter start year is greater than or equal to 19. Actually, it's not 20th century. It's eruptions century and a fifth since 1900. And I'm going to say guide equals false. I'm going to drop the color scale from this. All right. And here's some eruptions. And why isn't the midpoint going down? Should it be? Oh, I get it. Because it's actually log of this. Oops. Log 10 of 0.01, isn't it? Great. All right. Much better. All right. I need to pick like a reasonable midpoint. All right. So final thing is let's use Genome. Let's take our eruptions and we say eruptions. I think I can say year. I'm going to remind myself, I always forget this one, frame, title. I can transition manual. Ooh, closest state, is that a thing? It's good to know. No, it's not in this one. Close, I can say, think I can try this. Transition time. I'm still getting the hang of ggAnimate. I don't use it all that often, but I think I can say transition time by start year. The animation, let's see how long that one takes. Provided file, transition, what if I tried some just manual? And what if I'm going to move this for a moment. think time might have, okay, I think time might have been a little too much there. This is going to take a minute. Let's see. Title, not called framing. Transition manual. Title, frame time. Oh, frame time. Okay, that seemed to be the reason. Did I stop it? I stopped it. Let's see how this one goes. All right, so this will take 1 minute, and I could lay. So this should be. Note that it actually doesn't. That technically, I guess volcanoes can go over multiple years. So this and this actually just shows where the explosion started. So I don't know how. We're going to find out how this looks. I also might want to drop this. Somebody asked, can you? Somebody asked, can we create a GIF from the Genome? Absolutely. We can look at we can afterwards be able to use anim save. I'm actually going to show you. Like we can use anim save like eruptions.gif. It'll automatically save the most recent animation that we created. We're usually going to adjust it a couple times. I don't remember how to set my options, which takes 1 minute. We're going in 2 minutes. Let's see. Fingers crossed this looks good. Ah, oh, look at that. Look at it go. Oh, no. The years look weird, but here are lots of little eruptions, lots of these. And, oh, yeah, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to round frame time. And I'm going to do some things. Ooh, man, yeah, it's really going very fast. I also think this range is too small, so I'm going to say 1 to 6. I'm also going to say animate. All right, so I'm going to say this is animated graph. I'm going to say, and then I'm going to say animate. Remind myself what the options are. What is the default number of frames? 100 FPS. Okay, I'm going to change it to. I'm going to take this anim graph. Yeah, this is how I set options. I'm going to take this animation, set it to only 30 frames, and say the FPS, make it a little slower, is 3. So then it'll be a 10-second animation. Let's try this. Still a 10-second animation with 5 frames per second. I think it was just going too fast. Notice that I used glue here to like round each frame time. So the sort of say year, like, so this will, because it actually does interpolate between years. One advantage of doing frame time is if there's a year where there are no eruptions, it's not going to skip over that year. That's pretty handy. So I no longer need this because I'm doing legend position none. Fingers crossed, how's this animation look? That is not so bad. Skips a little time. Ooh, look at eruptions go, look at them go, look at them go, look at them go. And then starts over. That's pretty cool. I'm going to try it. Yep, these are eruptions over time. And I'm going to do it one more time where I say 120 and make it a little bit slower. Actually, 150. Let's try this whole thing. Let's see how it looks. And then once that's done, we'll be wrapping it up. So just to review, while this is rendering, to review what the code that we went through. I started with just a little bit of exploratory analysis. I wanted to see, oh, when did the last eruption happen for each volcano? And then and then I said, okay, and then I looked at the most common regions, most common volcano types, and then I created a map, which was really easy with the borders step. But then I saw a great suggestion. Thanks again. I don't know who created the suggestion, but the we saw a great suggestion to do interactive graph with Leaflet. Leaflet can add points to a map with things like add circle markers, which allowed us to say latitude, longitude, and then create some HTML with a little bit of tidyr and a little bit of knitter's cable. Thanks again for the help on creating those. And that created an interactive visualization we could have published in a Shiny dashboard. And finally, besides interactivity, which allows us to dig in on the details of each volcano, we took a look at the at eruptions over time. There's one more question while that's rendering, which is how do I keep the existing ones? That's called, I think, reveal. GGAnimate reveal data along a given dimension. Yeah, that would be called transition reveal. Where the idea is that, do I see an example? I can't do it while this one's rendering. But yeah, I think if I change this to transition reveal start year, I also would presumably have to change frame time to, I'm not sure what I do from this, but yeah, then that's how I would go about this. So let's let it finish right before I close this up. Let's see. Rendering, rendering, rendering. How's it look? I like to end with a good-looking one. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh man, look at these go. Look at those explosions around the world. That is the story of volcanoes. The blue ones, remember, are like this, and the blue small ones are the less severe explosions. The red ones, the giant explosions. That's fun. We could spend a lot of time polishing this. All right, so that was our screencast on volcanoes with Leaflet and GGAnimate. I hope you had a lot of fun. I certainly did. I'll see you next week.